I think I started programming at maybe 15.
I just couldn't pull myself away from these machines.
I wanted to be a developer. I wanted to write code.
I started creating my own video games.
It sparked something in me.
I started to really like programming.
Becoming a programmer, it opened the world for me.
I'm super excited about AI. The feeling of wonder, that's the reason why I started developing software.
I'm excited to see what we're going to build with such powerful tools.
Programming with an agent is really empowering.
That's like an extension of myself. It helps me go further.
No project is too big. No idea is too big.
It's magical.
If you make artificial intelligence available to everyone to use, you can essentially make the superpower available to everyone.
Knowing that my project is being used by people to make their lives better,
to make an impact in the world,
solving the problems we want to solve.
That's just the best feeling in the world.
the ideas I have are limitless and endless.
Everything that we do is empowering other people to make the world better.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Build. You know, it's always fun to be back at Build, especially in times like this. You know, we're just about getting into these middle innings of another platform shift. And these middle innings are where all things happen, all things scale. In fact, it reminds me, for me, you know, 91 and Win32, or you know, the web stack in 96, 2008, and cloud and mobile. And here we are in 2025, building out this open agentic web at scale. And we're going from these few apps with, you know, vertically integrated stacks to more of a platform that enables this open, scalable agentic web. More importantly, you know, it's all about expanding that opportunity for developers across every layer of the stack so that you all can build the apps, the agents that can empower every person and every organization on the planet. That's what we will unpack at this conference. But let us start where it all starts, the tools we use to build. You know, software engineering has always been about having the right tools to bring your ideas to life, continually perfect and craft and tame complexity. We're continually evolving these tools. We are seeing incredible momentum, adoption, and diffusion. In fact, Visual Studio and Family now has over 50 million users. GitHub has 150 million users. GitHub Copilot, in fact, has been used by more than 15 million developers, and we're just getting started. We have a bunch of new updates we are rolling out at Build, starting with Visual Studio. It is the most powerful IDE for .NET and C++, and we're making it even better, right? .NET 10 support, live preview at design time, improvements to Git tooling, a new debugger for cross-platform apps, and much, much more. And we're moving, by the way, to a monthly cadence for stable releases as well. And when it comes to VS Code, just a couple of weeks ago, we shipped our 100th release in the open. It included improved multi-window support and made it easier to view stage directly from within the editor. And GitHub continues to be the home for developers. GitHub Enterprise has tremendous momentum in the enterprise. And we're doubling down for developers building any applications. Trust, security, compliance, auditability, data residency are even more critical today. Now, starting with tools you use to the infrastructure you deploy on to reach the users and the markets you want. You know, talking about trust, open source is at the core of GitHub, and we're taking this next big step. As GitHub Copilot has evolved inside VS Code, AI has become so central to how we code. And that's why we're open sourcing Copilot in VS Code. We're really excited about this. This is a big deal. Starting today, we will integrate these AI-powered capabilities directly into the core of VS Code, bringing them into the same open source repo that powers the world's most loved dev tool. And of course, we'll continue to build out GitHub Copilot too. In fact, over the past few years, we've gone from code completions to chat to multi-file edits and now agents. And this same pattern is emerging more broadly across the agentic web. You can ask questions and AI assistants give us answers. You can assign tasks to agents and have them execute them, or work side by side with AI to complete jobs and projects. And you can mix and match all of these form factors, right? That's kind of what we care about as developers. It's not about any one of them. In fact, we're building app modernization right into agent mode, right? So Copilot now is capable of upgrading frameworks like a Java 8 to Java 21 or .NET 6 to .NET 9 and migrate any on-premise app to the cloud. It creates a plan for your code and dependencies, suggests the fixes along the way, learns from changes you make, and makes the entire process seamless. And the next thing we're introducing is an autonomous agent for site reliability engineering, or SRE. Right? I mean, think about one of the biggest pain points for any of us, right? Getting woken up in the middle of the night to deal with a live site issue. Take a pager duty, memory leak issue. The SRE agent starts automatically triaging, root causing, mitigating the issue, and then it logs the incident management report as a GitHub issue with all the repair items. And from there, you can even assign the repair items to GitHub Copilot. And we're not stopping there. This is the next big step forward, which is a full coding agent built right into GitHub, taking Copilot from being a pair programmer to a peer programmer. You can assign issues to Copilot, bug fixes, new features, code maintenance, and it'll complete these tasks autonomously. And today, I'm super excited that it's now available to all of you. Let me walk over. Gone are the days when I could just simply, report bugs. At this point, I'm assigned bugs to fix, and that's kind of called empowerment. And here I am with all the bugs that I have or issues that I have to deal with in GitHub issues. The first one is adding a filter for user group size community page. Let's go take a look at this issue. It's nice. They say, like, I've got to go put some new filter up here. It also shows me where. I guess it needs to do a range, small, medium, large, by size, or some kind of a percentile. It's like some kind of a group by, case when type of thing. So anyway, so let's do the thing that is easiest for me. In fact, it even has some caching stuff, which I have no idea what that is. But I guess there's a staging cache and then a Redis. OK, fine. Let's do the thing that I can do, which is assign it to my new buddy, Copilot. So I'm going to assign it. And there you go. Let's go and see. Let me scroll down. It's picked it up. It sees me. It creates a PR. And you see that nice eye emoji? It sort of knows that I'm here, and it's sort of going on to work. And we'll come back and check it out later, right? It's just so fun, right, to be able to go take care of issues like that, like email triage assigned to Copilot. But what it's doing is it's setting up a branch. It starts GitHub Actions in the sense it just generates the compute for you, or creates a virtual machine using GitHub Actions. It commits a draft PR to session logs. And in fact, you can go back to the session logs and continue to see all the draft PRs as it's working. Our coding agent respects all the security measures while delivering a great developer experience. That's obviously super important. The agent works in its own branch. It only uses MCP servers configured by a developer. We can get other agents to do code reviews and keep people in the loop before they run any CI/CD or merge. And we're also making all these intrinsics available to partners to ensure that there is an open and secure ecosystem of agents, whether it's SRE, SWE, code review, and many, many more agents that all of you will build. And of course, we also want to ensure that individual developers as well as IT have all the controls here. And talking about ecosystem of agents, we're very excited about OpenAI's Codex agent that was just launched on Friday. And I'm thrilled to have Sam Altman join us virtually. Welcome, Sam, to Build.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey. You know, one of the things I know you've thought a lot about, all these various form factors that developers use for software engineering. Of course, you did the CLI, and now, last week you did the coding agent. You want to talk a little bit, Sam, as sort of the vision you have for how software engineering evolves and actually how developers will use all these various form factors together.
Yeah, so Satya, you and I have been talking about this for a long time. In fact, the very first version of Codex, I think it was all the way back to 2021, one of the very first things we did together in GitHub. And we've been talking about how someday we'd get to like a real agentic coding experience. And it's kind of wild to me that it's finally here. I think this is one of the biggest changes to programming that I've ever seen. But this idea that you now have a real virtual teammate that you can assign work to, that you can say, hey, go off and do some of the stuff you were just doing and increasingly more advanced things. At some point say like, I got a big idea, go off and work for a couple of days and do it. And that you can issue many requests in parallel, that you can be fixing bugs, implementing new features, answering questions about the code. This is like true software engineering task delegation. And I think it'll only get better from here, but this is just a tremendously exciting moment. It integrates very deeply with GitHub. You can give it access to a repo and an environment, and you can get some pretty amazing stuff done. Yeah, no, it's really exciting to see that. And it's also sort of great to have developers stay in the flow, work with essentially peer programmers, these agents as well as other people that we collaborate with, and just have the developer process itself and the life cycle get faster. Obviously, you also are working on a lot of models and are very sort of fantastic. In fact, we've had a chance to sort of sim ship a lot of the models you guys have built. Just tell us a little bit about what's sort of coming as far as the model roadmap itself. The models are already very smart. They will continue to get smarter too. But I think one of the most exciting things is the models will get simpler to use. You won't have so many to pick from. It'll just sort of automatically do the right thing. They'll get much more reliable. You'll be able to trust them for much more. There'll be a lot more features like multimodality and great tool use and integration. It'll be closer to the it just works. I can talk to it. I can do a complicated coding agentic thing. I can rely on it. And I think people are going to be surprised at how fast we're going to make progress in those directions now. Yeah, I know we're very excited about your model roadmap. And obviously, when you look at ChatGPT, it's the most at-scale, stateful agentic app today that you guys built. And of course, Codex is another sort of agent app that you build. And this conference is all about unpacking so that every developer can, in some sense, build these new agentic apps, that use the model, do their own model scaffolding, go on to even do multi-agent orchestration and so on. Any advice you have as people build out these high-scale production, stateful agentic apps, Sam, based on obviously what you guys have been doing and leading? I think one of the hardest, most difficult things to manage about this is just the rate of change. If you think about what was possible 2 years ago or 1 year ago or now, and what will be possible in another year or 2 years, sort of planning for this incredible increase in model power and how people are going to build products and software and companies in the kind of near future, and really leaning into the new tools and the sort of new workflows that are possible. Again, we haven't seen many technological shifts like this in history, but every time one has come, like leaning in early and hard has been very rewarded. No, yeah, and that's absolutely well said, because at some level, one of the things we want to really unpack at this conference is what's that app server that allows you to take the latest new sample that comes
and keep moving at that pace, because I think that's the challenge we have as developers building these applications. But it's fantastic. Again, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it was amazing to watch over the last few months as we were working on Codex internally. There are always a few people that are the early adopters, and how quickly the people who were just using Codex all day changed their workflow, and just the incredible amount they were able to do relative to someone else was quite interesting.
No, it's fantastic. Thank you so much, Sam. Thanks for the partnership. See you again at Build Again. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.